Okay, hello historians. I'm going to be demonstrating how we read an artifact using the S.O.C.C method. So you'll see me kind of going back and forth between my blue socket analysis paper and the prompt. So let's get started. First, I know I have to look at the source and answer these 4 questions. So I'm going to start by reading the caption because usually I can get the basic background information about an artifact by reading the caption. So I'm going to code that for the main idea so I can make sure I get the key points. Lascaux cave art. Okay, I haven't heard the word Lascaux before, but it might be a place. Created around 15,000 BCE, okay, in southeastern France. All right, so right away I know what it is, when it was made, and where it's from. Reds, yellows, and blacks are the main colors used. The colors could be prepared by grinding, mixing, or heating, after which they are transferred onto cave walls. Okay, that sounds like the how. Painting techniques include drawing with fingers or charcoal, applying colors with brushes made out of hair or moss, and blowing the color on a stencil or directly onto the wall with a hollow bone. Okay, so all the rest of this information is how they think the artist would paint. Great, so now I'm ready to start answering those questions for the source. I'm going to save us some time and fill in the answers that I was able to already find. So for when was it made, or when was it created? It was created in 15,000 BCE. Notice that all of my answers are in a complete sentence. And prehistoric people in southern France made it. And the artifact is a cave painting. The 4th question is, who was it made for? The caption didn't tell me who, so I'm going to leave this blank for now, and it's okay if I don't end up answering it, because sometimes you don't get all of the information from just the artifact, and you need to do more research. All right, I'm now ready to move on to the O in socket for observe. 2 other questions are, what do you see, and what 2 things about the artifact do you think are important? So again, to save us some time, I answered these 2 already. When I look at the artifact, I see, I saw a group of deer. There's male deer, 1 male deer and some female deer, and they're young. There's 4 people that I counted. Each one of them has a bow and arrow. They're pointing them at the deer, and the deer look like they're running towards them. And the humans are kind of forming a line to kind of block the deer and catch them. And some of the deer have arrows in them already. So then the second question is, what 2 things do I think are important? So what I said was that based on what I see, I think that the formation of the humans and their weapons are important because it's showing me how they would hunt larger animals. And it shows me that they had a strategy to do this. I am going to move on to the next stage, which is the C for contextualize. There are 3 different questions for this. First, what does the artifact tell us about life during that time period? What major events were happening in the world? And then how does this connect with what I already know? So when I thought about those 3 questions, for number 1, I said that it shows us that humans hunted in groups, so they didn't hunt alone, and they had a strategy to how they hunted, so they were actually quite intelligent. And for the question 2, what major events were happening? Based on what I've read so far from our last class and the videos that we've seen on human evolution, I know that climate change was happening a lot during this time, and also humans are evolving because of that climate change. So their bodies are changing, their brains are getting bigger, their legs are getting longer, etc. So that's what my answer was for question 2. And then lastly, how does it connect with what I know? Well, I have some background knowledge about how humans survived in the wild. I know that they were hunters and gatherers, and so this seems like an example of how they would hunt. I'm almost done. I just have to do the last C in socket, which is for corroborate. So first question is, what questions does this artifact bring to your mind? And then secondly, what other evidence do you need to find or consider in order to answer these questions? So one thing I was wondering about when I looked at this artifact was, is it only the men that would hunt? Because it's kind of hard to tell in the image who, if the hunters are male or female. And so my question was about whether or not women were able to hunt, and also about the other animals that they hunted, because I only see deer in this picture. So those are my two questions, and my answer to question 2 of what do I need to look up is I could analyze some other artifacts about hunting to see if I could find human figures that look like they are women, or I could just look for other cave paintings of women during this time period and see if I'm able to find anything. So now that I've analyzed this artifact and I've answered the questions, I'm ready to start making an evidence-based claim. I'm going to do this using the language of analysis, sentence stems that are provided for you at your on your roadmap. And when I did it, I chose the sentence frame, after careful examination, it appears that, and then my claim follows after that. You'll notice in an analysis claim, an evidence-based claim, we typically don't use first-person point of view, and we talk in third person. So you wouldn't say, I believe, I think, I feel. You'd say it just in third person. So my claim is this. After careful examination, it appears that Paleolithic humans strategically hunted large animals in groups in order to get food and survive in cold climates. So all of that claim can be supported by the artifact analysis that I just completed using the S.O.C.C method.